This is recklessray checking back in, tapping in. Let's start off with housekeeping. If it's your first time visiting the channel, make sure to hit that like. Give me a subscribe if you find the content useful. Shout out to my bag chasers. Make sure to share this video. It goes live every Wednesday. It gets switched over to a public listing. These come to the bag chasers on Sunday. They get it first. So basically, after I'm done recording this goes live in the back channel for the bag chasers. There's a link to the Anton Daniels Patreon for the first year of this project. I will only be sharing there first. That is going to be the only way to get a hold of me as far as like questions or just any general contact for this avenue. I'll have other things on my channel, but there's going to be other dedicated playlists that are other things that I'm into. So keep an eye out for that, because I will be opening up a couple of other playlists with different topics. But as far as the cryptocurrency stuff, if you're going to reach out to me, that's the only way to get a hold of me, is to be a part of that Patreon group, because I'm a part of that Patreon group and it's awesome. So let's get into it. So this week, we've obviously got the top 10. I'll give you guys a little scroll down here. It's basically the same last week. There was a little bit of movement here, but the price on GMX dropped, so my allocation for that went into that coin. It didn't really increase its movement much because of the dip in the market. But as we can see, we're still slowly but surely chiseling away at this Olympus Dow position. Not that I'm selling off anything, but when I'm getting kicked out every week for that, like, I have a set amount that I'm holding, but I am actively buying Ethereum still. So there's that. Going to be looking at potentially getting into a little bit more of the Cosmo ecosystem and growing out this GMX position. So like, that actually did come up. We're at 2% now, so that will continue to grow as well. This week I did not do my dollar cost average, and the reason is I decided to hold on to that cash for next week because of one of the topics that we're gonna talk to. So actually, this is a good segue into it, so let's jump over to that page, which is also a big part of the reason that the market is down. There was a little bit of a sell-off for Ethereum post-merge, which, hey, we made it. It went smoothly. But inflation, macroeconomics do affect cryptocurrencies at a high rate because people are trading cryptocurrencies like you would trade a stock. So as you notice, everything's red. So the crypto market's also going to be red. Most of the time, I check my crypto more than I check my stock portfolio. If my crypto portfolio is bad, since I look at that first, I don't even look at the stocks, because I already know what's happening over there if the market writ large is bad. But the reason I'm holding on to my money is because rolling into next week, for that week's additional funds, I'll be able to get into looking at getting a better buy, because like, if this goes through and they raise rates again and it's not viewed as beneficial, then the market's going to freak out, everything's going to tank, and then I would rather have the funds that I would put in this week, since we're so close to that decision, go into next week's funds. And even if they raise in a way that is beneficial, the day of, there's normally a little bit of a pullback, and then the day after, there's a spike in price. So I'm planning on having funds go in that day as soon as the dust settles on this, basically. So I'm willing to take the slight gamble of getting a potentially better buy-in than going ahead and buying this week. So the other thing that I wanted to go over was this guy. So this is a visual representation of Ethereum and then Ethereum post-merge. So like, you can see how crazy this is pre-merge as far as like transactions going through and just how it was organized, because it was doing it with miners versus the proof of stake. So like once it's fully shifted over to proof of stake, there's a lot less noise on the chain. Like things are organized, it's way more efficient, which obviously when you get into the conversations about energy efficiency, that's what people want to talk about. And for Ethereum to be able to pull this merge off, we've been waiting for this for a long time. This is a beautiful picture of that transition. I've been using it since merge. It's the transactions, at least in my opinion, from somebody who uses it for the things I use it for, the transactions that I'm pushing through on the Ethereum blockchain are now kind of mimicking the experience of using the L2s. They're not, it's not necessarily as fast, but it's like in the ballpark. So like it's way more of a gratifying experience to use Ethereum now, because you're also not waiting as long, in my opinion. I think it's noticeably faster than what it was before, from my experience as somebody who uses that blockchain regularly. So we've got that going for us. I think currently, when we're looking at prices on things, in my opinion, literally everything is horrendously undervalued, in my opinion, at this point. Like, I'm looking at Bitcoin, I'm like, ugh, that's not a price that's appropriate. Ethereum is definitely not a price that's appropriate. Like, I didn't even do any post-news sell-off because we got no pump whatsoever. And as you can see, the 1 hour, the 24-hour, and the weekly charts are all ugly right now. The only thing that's not ugly is the Bitcoin chart. But as I've always told people, I'll repeat this every time I say it, since I record these videos over the weekend, the weekend movements generally will go back to whatever it was Friday at close of business. Obviously, crypto doesn't close, but like whenever the institutions close, that's what I'm counting as close of business. Like you can do stuff on the weekends, but normally those price fluctuations will go back to whatever you closed at for the market close on Friday. It's going to snap back to that Monday, Tuesday, normally. But a lot of these projects are just way undervalued. The only thing that's sitting in some semblance that's been on a pump lately are your Tendermint projects, which the three that I'm messing with are Juno, Atom, and Osmosis. Those projects have been on a tear lately, so I'm not really looking at those at these prices, because the prices that I got in on, I think the only one that is in remotely where it needs to be for me to be interested, that's floating around a buy range, is Atom for me personally right now. Everything else is way over my entry, so like I'm looking for a little bit of pullback there. Market's been, I mean, we're blatantly in a bear market, so we're navigating that. GMX has pulled back to 40. My buy-ins were above that, which is cool because like I bought it with staking rewards, so I didn't put my money into that project, and I'm not, so I'm dollar cost averaging in. So if the price stays low, I'll continue getting buys in at these rates. But overall, the next couple of weeks are going to be pretty interesting. We'll see what the Fed does next week. After that, we'll probably have a video update, because all the news is going to be circulating around that and how it's affecting our market. So that's going to be a good thing to dial in on and keep your ears to the ground on. But I've reserved all buys for everything. I'm not buying stocks. I'm not buying crypto. I'm buying nothing until after the dust settles on the next Fed rate hike, because that's going to affect everything. So we'll leave it short and sweet. As always, hope you guys had a good weekend, didn't fumble any bags. Comments, likes, subscribes all help the channel. There's information for if you want to donate to the channel in the comments. Again, there's the link for the Patreon in the comments. I highly recommend getting in on that. There's a lot of value in those back channels beyond just crypto. Like there's literally everything you could think of. They're leveling the game up in that channel, which is why I'm a part of it and why I'm not starting my own back channel, I would prefer to use that avenue, because the value that you get from me will only get magnified from all of the other things that you'll be exposed to just being a part of that network. So, with that, hope everybody has a good week. Shout out to the bag chasers. We'll revisit next week and see what's changed.